Hello everyone. In this recording, I will guide you to the process of using files related to Primavera P6 and also to develop a WBS for your project. We went through the manual process of doing the WBS on your project, and on our previous labs, we also went through starting to add some activities, but WBS is so important for the schedule that you need to develop the WBS in the software to be able to structure your schedule appropriately. This is actually the lab 4. There is a worksheet that is going to be used for both lab 4 and lab 5. Lab 4 is going to be doing this with with Primavera P6. But then in lab 5, you're going to do it with Microsoft Project. Alright, there are going to be some files that are going to be available on Canvas. Just be sure to download those files. Maybe have them organized in a working folder on your computer. Remember that if Primavera is based on a database, so with the computer that you're going to use, you're going to open that database, and you will have to work with that. The first thing that is asking you, the problem 1, and the problem 1 has 4 more specific items, is that we're going to import files to Primavera. We're not going to proceed to open the software. So remember that when you search for the software, we are using the P6 Professional, at least version 2022. So I'm going to open this. Remember that you always see the login information to access the database. Don't forget this information. Forgetting this information actually will cause that you have to reset the database, and you lose all the work that you have done so far on the database. Right? Depending on the severity of the issue, you might have to restart some previous work. Okay. This is actually an example for a real project. It's very common that when you open Primavera, you might see something going on that it's not showing all the projects. That is because as Primavera is using the database, it's recording everything. So if somebody actually was working on a project and then close the software, Primavera will open the same project back when it starts again. If that happens, you can just go back to the older projects by selecting this folder icon over here, and then this will show you actually all the projects that are currently right now in the portfolio actually, but we are not using the portfolio. We're just developing projects based on this. All right. From here, we're gonna start a new project. We are gonna not start a new project actually. We are going to import a project that I provided you. So just be sure that download all the files on Canvas, and then use a working folder on your computer that you can find these files easily. I have all my files here for lab 4 and 5, for example. And now I'm going to proceed to import the starter file that I provided you. So I'm going to go to File and then Import. This window will pop up. We're going to use a Primavera XCR file, which is the one that is selected right now. Click Next. Project. Here we have to select the file that we're going to import. So just be sure that you go to the location where your files are located, and then select the file. It's a file that does not show here. Just be sure that the file is here, maybe by going to your file explorer over here, but also maybe you can switch the file types to any if needed. My case is fine, so I'm gonna open it. Next. In my case, because obviously I use my computer to develop like the starter material, it's detecting that there is a match in here. Probably you won't see this in your computer, but either way, you have to create a new project. I mean, I have other options just because I have a match, but in your case, shouldn't be an issue. We need to import the file to a specific place in the portfolio, so we're gonna click the import button, import to button. Then I'm gonna import it to ENC and select that. Oops, I didn't select that. Has to be with this. Then it will enterprise shows here, and then I'm gonna click next. This is okay, it's by default. And then finish. We'll start importing the files. Okay, we finish. And now if you go to ENC, actually I didn't place it in the, I click enterprise, not ENC. Okay. You can move it still, alright, so you can move it back to ENC, and then it's gonna be here. What I'm gonna do is actually change, because I have another file that is named similarly, it is detecting the file and actually rename it. I'm just gonna change the file code to 002, as I'm using three numbers for identifying different versions. And also I'm gonna change the name to avoid confusion between the files that I have, because I will give you these files after I finish recording this. Okay, once I record, I import the file. You haven't opened it, but it's here, so I just want to right click and then open the project. Okay, and what we have here is just a list of activities, very simple activities that let's say that maybe you have this as a baseline. Typically the case is that you develop the WBS beforehand, and then actually you place activities wherever it fits well into the WBS. We're doing this in this way just because you're learning the basics of the software, so it's easy. It was easier to teach you how to add activities and develop the relationship between the activities in the software as it goes, rather than teaching the WBS, because it's a little more complex issue. But for now, these are the activities, and to organize this this schedule, we're gonna use an Excel file that I provided you that has the WBS for the brick veneer house that we worked before. It is again, this WBS is a version of the work. There can be multiple other ways to develop a same WBS with meaningful insights. And this is just an example, but I think it's good enough for this example that we're gonna do. You're gonna see that we have up to level 4 items, but you're gonna see other items graded out. Those, the person who did this, we're considering already some activities for those items, and then he didn't want to forget those activities and add it here. That's okay, but in the software itself, there's a big differentiation between the structure of the WBS and activities themselves, all right? And we're gonna see that in this lab. Okay, so what we're gonna do is mimic this WBS. At level 1, it has actually 5 items, so we're gonna start with those. And for the moment, I'm gonna place this on my side. And I'm gonna get back to the software. Okay. In Primavera, there is a specific tool to be able to develop the WBS. So we're gonna go to that by going to Project and then WBS. All right. Currently, the WBS is empty, obviously. And right now, just to show you how this works, I'm just gonna add the 5 items at the level 1 that are on the Excel file. And the way that, once you are here, the way that this works is that same as we do for the activities, you just right click to add a new item. But instead of being an activity is actually a WBS element. It's still, I mean, there is another aspect. Right now, the WBS is giving a code to this element, and one is okay. I mean, it's just gonna add it to the naming of the project itself, and then the name of that item, according to the WBS that I have, is site work. Okay, this is actually where it gets tricky in Primavera. If you want to add another item, let's say I'm gonna right click and then add another item here. It adds obviously another item, but the problem is that this item is not at the same level as it is the one that we created before, but it's basically like a child of the previous item, or a subcategory within the previous category that we created for site work. And that is wrong actually, all right? Because what we want to do is actually create elements at the same level. So I'm going to delete this one, and you see that the naming just add 1 now 0.1 to indicate that this is a part of the other element. So I'm gonna right click and delete. And then what I need to do to create a level at the same level as the one that I'm creating right now is that I have to select first the parent level of the upper level of the element that I want to create. So right now I want to create one that is like at the same level as site work, and the parent of that one is actually the whole project. So I'm gonna right click into the project itself, and I'm gonna add another element there, and you see now that Primavera adds a code which is 2, and then I'm gonna change that the name to foundation. Now this is actually elements at the same level. I'm just gonna add another one, and you can do the same with clicking insert, but you have to still click select the project. If not, it will create a child of the previous item. So this is gonna be a structure. Then fourth item, it is exterior. And then the other item, oops, just be careful, because I have noticed that this happens very often, at least to me, that I want to name this, and by default is first asking you to change the code and then the name. So I get confused. Five is fine, and then interior. Okay, so with this, basically we have all the items at the level 1 in the example that we have. All right, nothing has changed so far, because if we are in the WBS part of the project, but now we are going to change to the activities themselves. You can click the activities tab. It might seem that nothing has changed, but if you go to the bottom of the project, that we now have these headers that indicate that now we are creating the WBS. Okay. Just for the sake of time, I'm not gonna develop the whole WBS, but I'm gonna focus on site work, and I'm gonna try to complete or to advance the structure just to show you how it's done. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the WBS, and then just for site work, remember that site work is the parent of the ones that I'm gonna do right now. And then I'm gonna click insert, and then I'm going to do site prep, and then after that grading. landscaping, and within landscaping I have hardscapes, and then I also have lighting. Oops. Okay, in terms of hardscapes, I mean, there's one inside, which is exterior tiles, and then for lighting we have lamppost. Okay, so and I forgot to add septic. All right, septic is at the same level as site prep, which means that we are adding to the site work. I'm recording, logging. Okay, bye. And then I have septic here. Okay, I think this is complete, and I want to show you now how it looks like on the activities themselves. All right. Remember that we developed thoroughly only site work, and now I actually have my WBS kind of structure, but you might think still this doesn't much more sense because I have all the activities at the top, and then everything here is scattered. So what I'm gonna do, and this is tricky in Primavera. I mean, that's why everybody says that it's not user friendly. But I'm going to maybe layer it. So for some reason my mouse is slow. I just started organizing my activities from based on the activity ID from in this certain order, because I noticed that the activities that I need to place on the side work were above, and now they are below where I need them. And just gonna bring the example that I have here. So it was intentionally that I gave you the activities in grade to do this specific scheduling process, where you now have the activities, but now you have to link them to the WBS. Okay, and it's, now I mean typically it is not like that. Typically what you do is as you're developing the WBS help you to be able to define what is going to be the pieces of work that you're going to do, and that is actually what is the WBS. When you reach out the bottom of the WBS, then you start thinking about activities. We're doing just the opposite because we are learning. All right. Okay. So we are gonna what I'm gonna do instead is now as I have the WBS in place in the activities, what you can do is basically drag and drop the activities into the WBS. What I'm gonna do is site surveying. It's part of the site prep, so you have to you select the activity and then you grab it from the number, and you have to drop it where it fits. So in my case, it's site prep, so I'm gonna drop it there. And I don't know if you notice that now the site surveying actually shows inside my site prep. We're gonna do the same for the line clearing. And remember, you have to drop it on you have to drop the activity within the WBS item that it belongs. All right, so it's not that you are defining the order, because the order is given based on the number of the activities themselves. So you're just defining where they belong. All right, so for rough grading is gonna be I'm gonna maybe see if I can select both at the same time, because I have rough grade and final grade, and for that I'm gonna drop them on grading, and you see that you can actually select multiples at the same time. And then I have irrigation for landscaping. Remember, you have to pull it from the number itself. Landscaping irrigation here. One thing to notice, I mean, right now maybe you don't notice it as much because we don't have relationships and durations, but as you're developing the WBS levels are actually taking the duration of the activities within it, all right? You don't need to compute those at all. Typically, you actually don't need to touch these start and finish numbers at all when you're developing the schedule, because those are defined by the software and the math that goes in the background of in the software, based on the relationships and durations that you have in place. Okay, irrigation. Then for exterior tiles, we have layout, delivery, inspect. Okay. Oops. Don't forget that you have to pull it from the number. Okay. And one thing that I wanted to bring up here is that because before we didn't have the WBS in place, the activities were more verbose because they were trying to define things in specific terms because they don't have a structure. So for example, in this case that we're talking about exterior tiles, then it was talking about inspect exterior tiles and delivery of exterior tiles layout. It's been redundant to add the exterior tiles just because we didn't have that structure. But now that we have this structure in place, we can just say inspect, all right? And what we're talking about is exterior tiles because this item is within that. And you don't need the redundant information because it's already implied based on the WBS that you have in place. So you might have basically activities that are just referring to these items that are very commonly used, and you can just use it around, and probably you might be able to copy the sequence of these in terms of that relationship that they imply across multiple other parts of the schedule without much issues, all right? So and you just adapt. Okay, so lamppost is similar, so we're gonna install, just install. Oh, come on, I keep forgetting. This is, yeah, tricky sometimes. Okay, and then septic time is inspect, install, and inspection. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Now you can see how my schedule is taking shape, but it is a little bit eyesore to see that everything is bland because I don't have relationships in place. So I'm just gonna start adding relationships just to show you, I mean, how powerful this becomes when the WBS is in place. I'm just gonna add simple relationships. All right, so you can add relationships multiple ways. I'm gonna modify this to show ascending order because that is the way that I input this information. I'm gonna use successors instead of predecessors because typically show how to do successor and I use predecessors and I don't use successors that much. I'm going to define the successors of land clearing, site surveying. Just keep in mind that because now we have a WBS in place, when you actually assign successor and show this window, now it will actually show the WBS all the time because this is integral part of the schedule itself. Okay, so I'm going to define site surveying, then site clearing, and then after site clearing, I mean, it's gonna my case is gonna be a little bit just redundant, but I mean just a little bit linear, but you can get very creative with this. So I'm gonna land clear and then I'm gonna rough grade. I'm gonna do final grade. reach out to final grade. I mean, I cannot go to the next one, landscaping, hardscapes, because that is towards the end of the project, and lampposts either. Okay. I will say that septic tank might be too early for that, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Obviously, I haven't developed all the relationships. I think that is something I need to remove this. Okay. Remember, because anything has moved so far because we haven't scheduled anything. So I'm going to add some days, so 5 days for this, line clearing maybe 10 days. Growth grade, maybe this is 15 days. Final grade, I mean this is actually toward the end, so let's say another 15 days. And basically that's the only thing that I can do right now. I'm going to schedule this just to show you how it looks like. We are gonna just use which it shows right now. Okay, and now you see that the WBS is taking shape for the items that now have relationships. It's showing those relationships here. All right, so I'm gonna continue adding more items for the structure because, oh, actually, I should have done it for the foundation. Okay. All right, so I'm going to add it to the structure, but just keep in mind that then, well, let's add it for the structure, okay. All right, so again, same as before, we are gonna add items to the structure, so we have to be selecting the structure itself. We're gonna add soft floors. Walls. Roof. Just that. Okay, so inside soft floors, there's nothing actually. Inside walls, we have CMUs. Oops. And openings. Inside CMU. Oh, yeah, I actually messed it up. And there. I don't think it will let me. CMU. Yeah, trick is that the numbering actually defines the ordering, so I'm just gonna change this to 3 so I don't have a duplicate, and then change this to 1 and then go back to 2 with this. So just to have CMU before openings, and then I have rebar, and then for openings, oh, come on, windows, windows and 3 doors. And 3 doors, garage door, okay. Let me see, garage door, I think that's it. Okay, with this, let's continue. Let's go back to activities. Now those items actually will show up. Okay, I'm gonna do the same that I did before to indicate how the activity is at the bottom for now. So I have slab check, floor prep, floor delivery, acclimate source, soft floor, all of this. Actually, this will be part of the soft floors activity. Sorry, element. All the way here. It is redundant here. Again, that I'm referring to soft floors because I didn't have the WBS in place, so I can just remove some things. Floor play. I mean, I'm gonna leave the rest. This is for CMU walls. Oops. Oops. Install, revar, install, inspection, and fill. And this goes all the way to revar. Cannot move it more. Okay, revar is there. Windows, installs Windows. This goes to openings. Install quality check inspection. That is for Windows. I mean, the idea here is that you understand that I'm drag and dropping activities just because I have them here, but typically you have to develop them yourself, those activities. And you have to go to the edge of the window here for it to move it down. Okay. Install garage door. Okay. All right. So. Okay, my WBS in progress. I haven't finished. I'm just gonna add some more relationships for them to show in place. One thing. Okay, so let's do ascending order again. Slab check and floor prep. I'm gonna use this one, and just for this one, let's say. I'm going to use a start-to-start relationship with a lag of 5 days. Oh well, 3 days. And the duration for this one is slab check. I mean, this is maybe 5 days is fine. Floor prep maybe 2 days. Floor. Okay, so the other way to be able to add activity relationships is to do it visually on the Gantt chart. So I have floor prep, and then maybe I will say that after the final grade, I was gonna be able to order the well, let's say the flooring can be delivered. All right, so you can actually just by clicking the end of the activity and in the beginning of the next activity, you can define a relationship. Okay, floor prep. I will say that before before floor prep and floor and delivery, you can do the install. All right. I'm gonna run it just because I feel like it's getting confusing how those relationships are unfolding. Slab check, okay. Oh, I didn't, what about slab check? Do I have a predecessor for that one? I don't. Okay, so slab check. Probably that should be done after. I mean, the problem is that I don't have relationships in place for the foundation, alright? So that is a tricky part. But I want to say that install, after acclimating the floor, I actually will install it. And then after installing, actually, I want to do the inspection, alright? Let's see. Okay, that just added float. Okay, this will be like this because I don't have the predecessor activities related to the foundation, which I think very important. And right now, what is driving the schedule is basically the activities related to the delivery. I mean, I understand that why that is happening, but I mean, just trying to showcase how this works. One thing to consider here is that, for example, I want to highlight, I think, the structure. No, the subfloor WBS, which is this one. The subfloor WBS is actually, remember, it's trying to capture the sequence for all the activities within, and that includes the activities that are right now out of place. So let's say slab check, floor prep, acclimate door. All of those are actually not being. They are driving the schedule towards the beginning, which is not true. And because these other activities are driving the schedule toward the end, actually they are being critical. Actually, this element of the WBS is getting like very lengthy. All right, again, it's reflecting the behavior of the project itself. Let's quickly maybe just add some things for foundation just to be able to see a proper sequence. All right, so I have foundation here. Footings, slab on grade, I forgot. Remember to have a code. The other thing that you might notice is that as you're developing the schedule with activities, these also, the WBS will reflect here to indicate how the work is progressing. Okay. Footings. Formwork. I mean, and this is kind of like the more typical process that we do when we have the WBS first. Foundation, slab and grade, vapor barrier, formwork, slab grade, then concrete. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Now, within formwork, I'm gonna install them. What I'm doing is the same. Clicking the item where I'm gonna place items within. Then I'm gonna insert a new activity. This is gonna be install. Then after this, I think for activities you can just go with new activity without clicking where this going to, because it's understand that you're working within that specific element. Reinforcement. And then wait, concrete for the footing, for quality check inspection. Okay, I'm gonna continue using successors. So after installing the formwork, then I can install the rebar, and then after installing the rebar, then I can inspect it, and if that's okay, then I can pour. And obviously I do quality and after I pour, I can remove in a few days. Alright, so I'm gonna just say that after pouring I can remove from formwork, but I'm gonna add a lag to that. And then after pouring, I'm gonna actually add after removing the formwork, then that will be before as well. Okay, so I just want to add it here just to have maybe I'm gonna do a start to start relationship, so I'm just gonna check that later. Okay, so just added the relationship between these items. I will say that after pouring and removing, let's say I'm gonna cure, let it cure for 7 days. So I'm adding a lag after pouring to remove the formwork for 7 days. I just pushing things here, but I just let's go for that. And then for the inspection of the slab, as a predecessor, I have remove formwork. I think remove might be fine, but also I will add as a predecessor of that one the pouring. And for the between the remove, I'm going to add a start to start relationship, or maybe a finish to finish. So as we are removing, actually we have to also finish doing the inspection. I like it more. Okay, all right, so let's see how and I still haven't linked this activity to a predecessor activity. I'm just gonna connect it to what I have here with the final grade. So I'm gonna add it to the final grade and link it. So now actually my schedule will look a lot different. Okay, so now you see after final grade, my foundations actually get pushed. I haven't added the relationship for slab on grade and things, which so that's why I still cannot link my structural. Just gonna okay, so oops. Just gonna continue doing this for the vapor barrier. We're gonna install and then quality check. Quality check. Inspection. And then forward. Okay, this looks similar actually. Okay. Forward. Install. Remove. Reinforcement. Install. Inspect. Concrete. Pour. Inspection. QA. Inspection. Okay, I think I missed one inspection on the how for the vapor barrier. Maybe for well, yeah, no, I can do it when I do. Okay, I will do it. I will leave it there. Okay, so similar to the previous one, I'm going to install. Then successor, I'm going to quality check. When it passes, then I will be able to install. And then after install the formwork, I will be able to install the reinforcement. Oh, inspection there. Install, then inspect. Then when inspect is passed, then I can pour. And then similar to what I did before, I can remove the formwork, but also I will do an inspection. Okay. When I finish this, I'm going to do a slab check here. In terms of the pouring, the remove is going to have a lag of 7 days, and the inspection again is going to be a finish to finish. Let's run it again. Okay, I haven't checked this, so after I need to connect concrete of the concrete footings, and then I can install this. Yeah, this goes together. Let's run it again. Okay, and it's going. Okay. Now you see, actually at this point it makes sense that, I mean, these are critical items. Most of the things actually are driving the schedule. Let's see, remove, what is this? Remove formwork for the slab and grade. I thought I added a finish to finish relationship. But it's loose at the end, okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Okay, so as it goes, I mean, you can see how the WBS is taking shape. The idea, I mean, to some extent, sequences of activities. Oh, I see why. Actually, I didn't link I linked this incorrectly. Because I'm gonna fix this. So for the pouring, it is actually, this is a finish to start. Finish to start, and the relationship and I think that should be a lag here. Well, the relationship is between remove and the QA/QC inspection. So let's say I'm gonna add one here to here, and then remove is a finish to finish. I'm gonna run it again. Then that is gonna be moving the schedule for sure. But for the pouring, actually, that makes sense. I need some time for curing. So I think this makes sense, and I having the same case here. Okay, so I completed portions of the schedule. Obviously, that schedule is not completed, and actually, that's part of the lab itself. So problem 1.3 is that based on the WBS provided, which means the Excel file that was provided on Canvas, complete the schedule, right, with activity relations and estimated activity durations. Just practice doing this. I mean, it's not as complicated, but just for you to get familiar. I'm giving you an estimated duration for your project. So when you have all the activities, all your activities are relationships are in place, then you will be able to see at the top. For this at the top on the WBS, you have the project itself. So you will be able to see how many days actually that project is. So you can translate like the 9 to 15 months to whatever days those are. And then if you are in that range, you should be fine. But if not, you might need to adjust activity durations or activity relationships to fit the duration that I'm providing you. I mean, this is just an estimated estimation. I mean, for durations of activities, I mean, we are not doing things in detail. So everything is based on estimations. All right, and it's this project duration timeline. It's actually very optimistic, all right, between 9 and 15 months. So there is about 6 months of leeway, which is a lot. So just try to put it on that range just to make it manageable. Okay, so when you complete the schedule on completely, one of the things that is asking you to do on problem 1.4 is to develop make the export. All right, so in the same way that I gave you an import so you can start with something, you can actually do it as well if you want to maybe send this project from Primavera to somebody else, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. But just remember, right, that another thing that you have to complete for this lab is to print the schedule in PDF. In PDF as a tabloid, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do the export. This is pretty simple. So you do go to File, then Export, and then you select just Primavera as the first option. And typically these are okay by default. So Primavera PM, XER, and 23 or later is okay. Then next project is okay. I mean, this all is fine. Export, you select where this file will be exported. I will export it to where my file is, but just keep in mind that you might overwrite the file that you have from the beginning. So maybe just change the name to something like completed or something like that. I just want to do that just to show you how to do it. Completed. Save, finish, and close. If I go to my folder, now I have an additional XCR file that is actually the show my work completed, so somebody else can import it again. Just remember to print this on PDF and submit the PDF and the XCR that you are exporting to Canvas for the assignment. All right, this is a little bit lengthy video, but I mean, this should clarify a lot of things and it should give you a lot of perspective about how to use the software in some perspectives. Okay, thank you, have a good day.